Welcome to iCarly.
Hello.
I know.
I know. You see, the
It
best
feels
parts
so
of me,
wonderful.
It feels so wonderful.
Welcome back to Tots and the month of Totober. This, yeah, like that. In this week's episode, we are going to be talking about The Descent, Part 1 and Part 2.
And oh boy, what a fucking ride.
Hell yeah, it was definitely a ride. It was a bumpy one too.
It was more than bumpy.
The bumps were like 10 feet high.
Did you say the blumps?
The blumps. The blumps were 10 feet high, bruh.
So who's starting? And what we starting with?
Well, we should start with The Descent 1.
Well, I don't mean which movie. I mean like character, story, music. Like what part of the movie?
Do you want to start us off?
I mean, I don't care.
Go ahead. Start us off, bruh.
Well, let's start with the music, and this is the same opinion I have, honestly, for both of them. The music was honestly bad. Because honestly, if you can't even remember the main theme of a movie when the movie's over, I think that's a bad thing. I don't even know what it would sound like, because that's how forgettable it was.
I mean, I don't think that's always a bad thing, especially since some movies don't even really need or want to use music.
I agree.
Well, I mean, I think that a movie with music in it, though, it is a bad thing. A music in which there's no music, though?
A music in which there's no music?
Or a movie in which there's no music, though?
What a world. Music that has non-existent music.
Kind of
the existential horror.
So yeah.
That's all you have to say?
About the music, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's bad, forgettable. That's it.
I wouldn't say it's bad, but I'd definitely say it's forgettable.
Super forgettable.
It wasn't bad though, because it's not like it was ear grating or anything. It was just kind of there, right. Which to me signals it's average.
Yeah.
I would say painfully average.
Okay. I mean, I can't disagree with that. So, moving on to the story then, I guess.
Yeah. Go on, tell us.
Hello?
Hello, Nick, tell us.
I stayed silent on purpose because you were like, go ahead, tell us.
Wow.
So when the movie first starts, I felt like it was very meh, and also it's kind of funny how it was somehow at the same time super over the top and also just kind of boring and not very great. I love the intro scene. That point when the dad is driving of the daughter and the wife, which is the wife is the main character.
That's that not part the intro scene.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
But it was.
No, it's when they're coming down the river in their whitewater rafting.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'm talking about the important intro scene part.
Yeah, not the not
okay.
part.
Not the actual intro scene. The intro scene Nick wants it to be.
Yeah. No, the important part that was in the intro, which is where the main character's husband is driving and then he gets distracted, crashes gets a Final Destination pole through his head.
Wow, that's a really cute looking Final Destination pole. Good.
Freaking slaps the back of his head with a hole in it, and they're like, "I like you cut, G."
Well, basically, so we are doing spoilers, right?
Well,
Yeah,
Nick
this
just
movie's
did
pretty
one.
old. This movie's pretty
It's
old. I don't
pretty
think we need
old,
to
and also the spoilers kind of help with
illustrate our points.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, they're like river rafting and everything, and then and they're like, "Wow, we're moms and we're having fun, woo!" And then which wasn't necessarily bad, but where I think it was bad is that the dad just helps the Asian girl, which is named Juno, out of the water,
Mm-hmm.
and then I made a joke that he's having an affair with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't even reveal that that is actually true until the second movie.
Well, they don't reveal it, so to speak. But if you could pick up on any vibes, you would pick up on the fact that they're having.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I'm also like, but he was just helping her out of the water. It's not like they were being weird.
There was more than that, but I mean, if you didn't pick up on it, you didn't pick up on it.
I didn't. I just made a joke.
I did.
And then that joke turned out to be an actual story point.
I totally picked up on it.
I mean, I don't remember exactly how they reveal it in the second movie, but I remembered actually being okay with it because it didn't that wasn't something that greatly affected the story of the first movie. Like, you didn't need to know
see,
that.
that's that's another thing that it didn't even greatly affect this movie either. The second one.
No, yeah, I know, but what
Well-
I'm saying is I'm okay with the reveal because I feel like it actually adds more to the first movie because then it adds context, like to the, to the
Well,
back and
it
forth
also
between
adds to
Juno
the-
and the main character.
It also adds to the second movie because they have a lot of back and forth in the second movie as well. And Juno's whole excuse for taking them to a cave that's
Discovered.
that no one's adventured into,
Right, undiscovered.
Yeah,
undiscovered.
Uncharted.
The only excuse she has to take them into an undiscovered cave is because she wanted them to discover it together, and she wanted to name it after Sarah. Who is
Yeah.
the wife
girl
of the,
she
the
yeah.
wife of the husband that she was cheating with. It's supposed to be Juno's friend, good friend, as a matter of fact. So there is reason for that to be in there for the first and second movie.
I mean, I guess, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that's one
mean-
of the reveals I didn't mind because it was actually it added context and to the story.
And reasoning behind some things.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Rob?
I mean, I
Well,
guess.
Okay.
I thought you had more to say about that. Because
Nah.
you were gonna say something, and then I was like, it adds more
I
context.
just don't. My point is that the way it was done, I don't love it. That's all.
Okay.
I think that it was kind of just there. They were like, "Yeah, this happened, by the way," and you're like, "Okay."
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, back to the first movie. So basically, yeah, Juno and the main character's husband having a little get together.
They were
Little
wiping their
bony
dirties
party.
together.
Little epic gamer party where they play Fortnite together. And then her husband's driving, pull through face. Daughter dies too. I don't know how exactly. Maybe pull through body.
The
I don't know.
same
I'm
pole that
sure the
kinda
pole
epic.
went through her. Yeah, she was in the back seat, probably behind the
Nick.
husband.
Yeah,
What?
the same pole that went through Daddy went through the daughter too. Double kill.
A double kill, yeah. Oh hell yeah. Truck driver be like, I just got a double kill, bro. So yeah, she yeah, she wakes up in the hospital, like, and no one's there. It's like a hallucination. And then, I think she sees her daughter, like, next to a birthday cake. Something like that.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
then-
remember that.
And then she wakes up from the hallucination, and everyone's like, lol, your daughter died. Kind of cringe.
Kind of cringe. Why did they say that? Are they trying to be mean?
Imagine if someone said that. They're just like, your
Doctor.
daughter died. Kind of cringe, bro.
They go, wow, your husband and your daughter died. You're not a very good wife, huh?
Wow, you really should have protected their faces from that pole better. Jeez.
With your face.
Yeah.
Triple kill.
Yeah, at least then all three of you would have died. So yeah, basically that's the setup for the story. Her husband and her daughter died, and so she has like PTSD from that event where a pole went through them.
Yeah, but the PTSD kind of only happens in the hospital. And then it never happens in the movie again.
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't.
did.
It happens all the way throughout the movie.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
did.
remember any of that, bro.
You were not paying attention. You must have been looking
Yeah,
at your phone.
you literally must have like fell
Been
asleep.
looking at his phone. He must have been looking at his
I-
phone.
Actually,
Yeah,
I was
probably
paying
scrolling through
attention.
Instagram, being like, that's
I don't even
good
have
art.
Instagram.
That's a funny meme.
Snapchat, Nick. Snapchat.
But anyway, I actually wasn't on my phone during these because I knew that we were making tots on them.
I don't know how you
It's
missed it.
just
then.
that a lot of the movie was
Yeah.
forgettable, so I just don't remember hardly much
Oh,
because I really disliked both movies.
I didn't love the first movie, but I don't know. I think I liked it. Like, I didn't love it, but I kind of liked it. Especially like when it got near the end, I felt like it got like a lot better near the end. And even then, I thought it had some highlights before then. But
There's
yeah,
literally one single scene in the first movie that I actually liked. And that was literally when she made a torch. Like she put her torch on fire. And the camera angle was super cool. Cuz it was like
Okay.
you could see like it's almost like the camera was kind of outside of the cave almost in a way, and you could see into the cave where she was making the torch. So
So
then
your
it like
favorite part of this movie was super action packed.
what? No.
Exactly.
No, she just made a torch. It wasn't even that cool.
Yeah, I know. That's my whole point.
Ah,
Haha. Got him.
well, you really got me.
Oh yeah, I guess I did.
Dang, we got a Gotham match over here.
Got a match. Bing, 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 bing.
Who can get him better? All right, so
Do you even remember the scene I was talking about?
yeah, I remember.
It had a cool
course I
camera
do.
angle, did it not?
I remember a lot more of the movie than you do. Why are you asking me if I remember?
Yeah, but it was the one scene in the movie that I think actually had interesting cinematography, where I was like, "This is an interesting camera angle,"
Okay.
and I could
Yeah.
actually see what was going on at the same time, which I couldn't for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So you've now validated me, and now we can continue. I feel validated, so my
I
ego is
validate
not
you.
shot.
I validate your opinion.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, basically she's dealing with PTSD.
PTS 3D. Oh,
No, I said PTS3.
oh, PS3. She's dealing with PS3.
Yeah. So she's dealing with PTSD throughout the movie,
Dick.
and basically trying to get over her the event. She's trying to get over her
The
PTSD.
event.
Yeah, from the event.
The incident.
And there are parts where it comes up, like when she got stuck in the one hole in the little crevice, and she wasn't really stuck. She was just having like a what do you call it? Like anxiety, whatever.
Anxiety spell.
I don't know what you call it when someone's freaking out like that because of PTSD.
Panic attack.
Anxiety attack.
Panic attack, anxiety. Yes, both of those. Both of them work.
Both of those things are correct.
Yeah. So yeah, she was like having an anxiety attack. That's just one example of when she was having PTSD. And that's the thing, is that I actually feel like, even though I didn't absolutely love the story, I felt like the actual cave itself was done like really well in the movie.
What do you mean?
Like it felt like it was like really, it just felt like a real cave, especially with that one part when they were crawling through that really tiny ass crevice, and it wasn't just like movie tiny, it was literally like so tiny, like the actors were barely getting through that little crevice. So it actually like gave a sense of claustrophobia that I'm sure people that go and spelunk or go spelunking in caves, they probably have experienced that like kind of thing where they're crawling through a really small ass crevice in a cave.
Yeah.
And it can like, it can give you a sense of claustrophobia even though you don't even have claustrophobia, like because it's so small, and it's obviously, it's a cave, so at any moment shit could shift and then you're stuck.
I agree.
So yeah, that's one of the main things that I think that the movie got right, is I thought the cave was done really well in The Descent Part 1. But the story is another story entirely.
You're right.
You like how
they're
I
two different movies.
phrased it?
You're right. Two different stories.
What?
Two different stories. So they're the story is a different story entirely.
You're making the joke worse. Alright, so I feel like the writing could have been a lot better, basically. That's my main problem with the story.
Same. I don't really like the story in general, but the writing could have been better as well.
Well, I think that's the main problem with the story, is the writing, because like I just like didn't really like.
I didn't.
The
fall in
characters
love.
were kind of just annoying, or at least like not all of them, but there were some that were just annoying.
Yeah, dude, Sarah was so annoying.
Holly.
But everyone has a Holly in their friend group. That's realistic character design.
No, I'd actually agree with that. She was actually one of the few where I'm like, well, actually, that is a real person. Not the person
like,
on the screen, but
"They
just in
doing
general. That is
this."
there are people like this.
Scoozy.
But it was like, but what I mean though is that like just in general, like the movie before it actually got into the spooky dooky, I'm about to shit my pants territory, which it really, obviously it didn't actually like get anywhere close to a type of horror that would make you shit your pants. But before it got into the horror atmosphere, it kind of felt like a goofy drama comedy about friends trying to help their friend get over a traumatic event that
That's
happened.
pretty goofy. Goofy buddy comedy. Your husband and daughter died. Yeah, make you feel
Your
better.
husband and daughter got impaled by a pole through the face. Let's make a goofy comedy drama movie of it.
Yeah, that's what her friend said. Let's make a goofy dramedy comma movie.
They wanted to make a movie out of it.
Yeah.
The cave dwellers told them to finish the film, and then they said, "All right." And Juno said, "I'll finish the film," and tried to kill everyone.
I'm kind of
Got him.
surprised it wasn't made a little better than it was, just because it was done in 2005.
Hmm.
And 2009. Not really that long ago.
Yeah.
Not for movies.
Yeah. Like they're not super old, and yet they like
They come off as
didn't.
like an 80s or a 90s movie.
Oh yeah. But it feels like they're even worse than them because then at least
Yeah, I've
there's
seen
a lot of
some.
80s and 90s movies that are actually pretty realistic or at least have really good writing.
Yeah, I was
Or
gonna say
scary
that.
enough to make you shit your pants.
One Flew
Yeah,
Over the
exactly.
Cuckoo's Nest is actually a lot older, and it's a lot better.
Oh yeah, 100%. Not to mention, if we're like staying in the realm of horror, Friday the 13th, that whole entire series is way better than this. And that's not even like coming from like a quote unquote fan. Like I would say I'm a fan, but like what I mean is that I haven't been a long time fan. I only became a fan I think like a Halloween or two
The
ago because I was
Halloween
like,
genre is better than this. The Friday the 13th genre is better than this.
you mean the horror genre in general is
Pretty much. But those are
yeah.
like back in the 80s, and they're better than this.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like 80s slasher movies. That's usually what people call those Halloween and Friday the 13th and others.
They're even written better, not just in the
Yeah, that's
horror. Not just in the horror alone, they're written better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember watching Friday the 13th part 1 and I was like, I'm kind of surprised because like nowadays Friday the 13th is kind of a joke and like everyone makes fun of it and stuff and it's like the laughing stock of movies. Like people love it, but they also make fun of it. But like the first like couple Friday the 13th movies are actually like feel kind of like pretty real, honestly.
Hmm.
Other than obviously the supernatural shit, but I mean like the writing is actually pretty good, especially in the first movie and the characters and stuff. Like they just feel like regular ass teenagers that are caught up in this fucked up mess where a killer's killing everyone.
Yeah, boy.
Don't yeah boy me, you haven't seen the movie, you can't say that.
Which movie?
Friday the 13th. What are we talking about here, huh?
I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't think you
Really?
did.
Pretty sure I did.
I know you didn't watch it
I
with
don't think
us.
so.
I know for a fact you didn't watch it with us.
Is it the one
Nope.
when he kills his sister at the beginning of the movie?
What?
Or is that Halloween?
That's
Halloween.
Halloween.
Well, I've seen Halloween and that was awesome.
We're talking about Friday the 13th.
The only reason
Yeah.
Halloween is awesome is because his sister died.
Epic.
Yeah. I was like, right when that happened, I went, damn, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, at the beginning of The Descent, I was like, well, honestly, this would be a 10 out of 10 movie if her sister was behind her daughter and also got impaled.
Bruh.
Then it would have been like a 10 out of 10 movie. Perfect.
Movie perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect!
There hasn't ever been a perfect movie until the movie that has someone kill their sister. Which is Halloween. Halloween is a perfect movie. Ah! Ah! Like how that's not even a very controversial opinion because Halloween is beloved by many.
It's super controversial.
Yeah, man. I just like that was like brave. That was brave of me to say that Halloween
So brave.
is perfect. I mean, I don't think Halloween is perfect, but that was a joke anyways. Just to clarify, because people might actually think I think it's perfect.
I do.
No, you don't. I can tell you don't. That was my evil laugh. But anyways, back to the movie. What were we talking? Oh yeah, we were talking about just in general how it's like worse than even movies that are older than it that are horror movies. Because of the writing, it's just dookie doo doo, fire trash garbage.
Fire trash garbage.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I like to give pointers where it's due, like the one previously mentioned section where they're crawling through a very small crevice through the cave, and it's like very claustrophobic. And also, I thought that the part with her dangling from the ceiling was also a pretty good part.
That was
Like,
pretty
even
good.
yeah, like even though nothing happened, like nothing really needed to happen. Just the the threat of someone falling was like good enough. The tension was thick, basically.
I disagree with everything.
With everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
Dang, dude. So you disagree that it's like worse than Halloween and Friday the 13th?
Nah,
All those
I just
movies?
disagree with
Damn.
what you've said about the
And it's
movie.
kind of epic, bro. Well, you got to clarify. You said I disagree with everything.
What you said
so
directly
that's
about
just,
the movie.
You're just saying
like
you disagree with
tension,
literally everything.
Like tension being thick, good story, but needed better writing. Things like that. Like I don't agree with any of it.
Okay.
I think the story was bad. It had bad writing. There wasn't tension. When there was supposed to be tension, the reason there wasn't is because the camera was so bad, like camera angles and stuff. I couldn't even tell what the hell was going on.
Well,
Except for
that
that
only
one
happened
single
when they
scene when she
encountered the
made.
spooky monster boys.
The only scenes I knew what was going on is the one that I like with the torch, because it had an interesting camera angle that actually made it clear as to what was going on. And then it also, the other scene when she was in that like blood pool and she was killing like two of them. I could actually tell what was going on at that part as well. Those are like the only parts I could actually understand what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I understood what was happening for most of the movie. It's just
Well, see,
in
the only part I really
in the moments when there was a struggle is when it got kind of confusing because it was so dark.
well,
They
the
didn't
and
camera
do
they
it
had
angles
an
were
well.
bad.
extreme shaky cam.
They
like
didn't.
extreme.
They didn't do well with the lighting, the angles, or the, like you said, shaking of the cameras. If those had
Yeah.
all been improved, I think we could have figured out what was going on with the struggles.
Yeah.
Those were the only times I didn't know what the hell was going on, though, was when there was a struggle.
Yeah, and that's what I meant, is that really the only like shaky cam, not knowing exactly what's going on, really only happened when they encountered the monsters, because that's when they only
Right.
had this struggle.
Right.
Because the part where I was talking about didn't have that whole thing about the shaky cam when she was like just climbing across the ceiling while putting
I
those
know.
things in the ceiling.
I know.
So it was very clear what she was doing.
Right.
So yeah, getting to the, let's see, what should we talk about next when they encounter the monsters? Is that what we should? We just head right into it.
Sure.
Okay. So I think that, I don't know. I kind of liked that the monsters were held off until the very end. Actually, like, because I actually liked the idea that they were just using the cave as a creepy thing, because of the fact that, caves in real life can actually be a very scary thing, like, because they can be very dangerous. So I feel like they, like, took the whole thing about the caves being dangerous and, like, said, all right, well, we're going to make this cave dangerous.
Okay.
Wow.
Like, I felt like they were going to play on that, like, fear of dangerous caves, basically. Yeah?
I'm not
I was
following
expecting a response. You're not following me?
you.
Not really.
Well, what I mean when I say that is like I said, the part when she was climbing across the ceiling, and then the other part when they crawled through the crevice at the beginning, and then like it started falling and stuff while they were in it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, before the monsters showed up, I felt like they were playing off the whole like the danger of caves.
Okay.
Like, because I'm not saying that caves, just in general are dangerous, but I'm saying that, like, if you don't know what you're doing, or just in general, like, some specific parts of caves can be very dangerous. Like, even if
Right.
you do know what you're doing, because they knew what they were doing, but they went through that crevice anyways, and it was really dangerous.
Right. Okay.
So do you get what I mean now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I thought I liked that idea of playing off of that until the monsters actually showed up. And then when the monsters did show up, I actually thought it became a drastically better movie. Although the obviously biggest problem with the movie from that point onward for me was the shaky cam bullshit.
Yeah.
And the basically not being able to understand what the fuck is going on when a struggle happened.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
I mean. I understood what was going on story wise. It's just the camera was so bad. I didn't understand what was going on from moment to moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that I actually think that the I thought in general the like writing and the action and the tension and literally just everything became a whole lot better when they encountered the monsters though. I
yeah.
felt like it put everything into like full gear and into full throttle basically.
Yeah, it did.
And it almost felt like it kind of changed genres because it wasn't really a spooky horror movie until then really.
Right.
Which is why I personally liked it a lot because I felt like, especially with the fact that they all started like killing a bunch of the monsters, so it almost started kind of feeling like one of those like classic slasher horror movies or something like that, something akin to like Evil Dead, where like the main character like starts just absolutely destroying all the evil creatures and shit in really brutal and awesome ways.
I mean, that was like the only thing I liked about the movie pretty much was the fact that the characters were actually killing the monsters.
Yeah.
However, I didn't always know exactly how they were killing them because of the camera.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I get it that you're winning the battle, but like how? I can't see anything.
Half the time I couldn't even tell who had the upper hand.
Yeah, literally one of
Yeah.
them I think was trying to kill Sarah at one point and he like jumped on her back. And I noticed that he jumped on her back, but then right after he jumped on her back, the camera tried to do like flips and stuff, like they were doing flips, so like all over the floor. And then just out of nowhere, she had the upper hand and killed him. And I was like, when did she get the upper hand? I'm confused.
Yeah.
I legit thought he was on her back, and then all of a sudden he's on the floor, and he's basically dead. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I was basically like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
So
I think another reason why I say it kind of feels like it changes genre because it also felt like leading up to the mutant part, it felt like it was that when they encounter the monsters, they were not going to have a chance. Like it kind of felt like the monsters were just going to absolutely annihilate them, and they would not even take down like maybe they'd only take down a single one, like only a single monster at most. And it would be based on survival rather than like actually like obviously it was on survival still, but they were also absolutely like kind of massacring them.
another thing
Well,
that I
that's
think is
because
go on.
the monsters had downfalls that were workable for a human. You know, like
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
yeah,
The
I get that.
all of the characters I will say that die pretty much die because they're making noise and shit and they don't understand the creature. Because like once they understand they're blind and stuff, they seem to be really easy to kind of like trick and get around and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're still dangerous, but
Yeah.
at that point they're really only like super dangerous in numbers once you understand them. Because
Yeah.
if it's like 1v1 or 1v2, you have like a bigger chance of beating them because you understand how they work.
Yeah, they're basically normal humans, but they're blind.
So they're actually weaker.
Yeah. Well, they also have like basically super hearing, and they're like really
Superhuman strength.
well, maybe not superhuman strength, but they definitely have like some kind of super hearing, and they also are very agile. Like they can climb like super fucking well, and they're really fast.
Yeah, boy.
But other than that, like you can crack their skull and they'll die like instantly. So they're like basically just
Yeah,
like humans
They
with
die
a few.
like humans.
Yeah. So yeah, they're basically humans with just like +1 speed and +1 hearing. Just slightly better stuff, but not good enough, especially since they don't
Yeah.
have sight.
They remind me of goblins from Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
Goblins in Lord of the Rings, not because they except for the fact that they're blind, but because they live in caves, they have like the pointy ears. They look really ugly, and they also can actually die pretty easily unless they're like in numbers. Then they're actually dangerous in numbers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, a lot of this are like goblins from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The only thing that's not like goblins is like being blind and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and they eat people, which is also like goblins.
Yeah.
So I was basically watching it like, lol, they're fighting Lord of the Rings goblins.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, just like
Our-
how when we watched Bone Tomahawk, they were basically like orcs.
Yeah.
Except they ate people, and orcs actually don't eat people. So.
Yeah, and they chop people in half from the dick down.
Well, orcs might do that.
I mean, hey, maybe, I don't know. I don't know Lord of the Rings lore. I don't know lore of the rings. Oh!
Well,
Oh!
I know orcs
Got
would
him.
eat people if they had to. Like, they wouldn't bother them. But it's not
Yeah.
like the main thing that they want, like they go for.
Yeah.
They usually would hunt animals or something.
Yeah.
But anyway. I think they even say it's the reason they prefer animals is because they just prefer the taste of animals over humans. So
Yeah.
that's why, like, if they have to eat a human, they're still not bothered by it. They just prefer animals because they taste better.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross.
Pretty. Gamer!
Gamer.
Did you know that orcs are the original gamer? I know, right? Kind of epic.
All hail Sauron.
Oh, yeah, because orcs are the original gamer.
Which means
So
Sauron is the master of gamers.
yeah, he's gamer king. All right, so yeah, going back to the movie. I had some. Oh yeah, I wanted to continue on the story, but before we continue on the story, I did just think of something, which is the fact that like I also feel like the creature design was probably like only above average. Like it wasn't bad, and I don't even necessarily think it was average, but I don't think it was really good either. I kind of feel like it was just above average.
I agree with that.
Rob?
I think it was average.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could see that.
Anyone at home,
I'm teetering on average.
if anyone at home can tell, it seems like they didn't like love it, but I definitely didn't like it as much as they did.
Well, yeah, I definitely did not love it, but it got some brownie points from me for certain things, especially the ending is the main. Not the ending, but I just mean like the like third what's it called?
Act.
Third act, yes.
My
Third
God.
act of the movie. I couldn't think of the I was thinking like plan, no, not third plan.
Yeah,
third
plan.
quarter, no, not third quarter. That'd be like the fourth quarter. Third plan, hell yeah. So, yeah, it just I liked it because it gave me it gave me some things I liked. It's just it had a lot of problems. But going back to the story, I also feel like the writing in the story, which is another reason why I liked it rather than just thinking it was average. I felt like the story and writing got a shit ton better at the third act of the movie. Like I like the fact that the main character Sarah was like almost basically a mute because like she just became a total badass, and also like there was parts where like I feel like an average horror movie would like actually insert a line for her to say, whereas this one just would have her do like a
Yippee-ki-yay,
dead cold
motherfuckers.
stare.
Yeah.
Well, like for instance, like when she confronted Juno at the very end, and stabbed her in the
Yeah.
leg. I feel like a worse horror movie would have added a line in there at the end, like
Like yippee-ki-yay,
Fuck you.
motherfucker.
"Fuck you," and then she would stab her in the leg. But this one, I feel like had some like class, at least at that part. Like it had some. Yeah, it knew that it really couldn't say anything to make the part better than if she just like gave her a cold dead stare and then stabbed her in the leg and ran off.
Right.
So yeah, that's the main reason why I like the movie rather than like thinking it's average, because of it's mainly just the third act. There was some parts that were okay, or actually maybe even somewhat good before that, but the main reason I liked it was the third act. Anyone else? Any
I mean,
thoughts,
I mean,
boys?
I liked it too for that reason.
Hmm.
I mean, that's one of the things I liked about it.
Hmm. Well, damn.
I still dislike the third act as much as the rest of the movie.
Woo! Wait, but didn't you just say that you actually thought the third act was the best part of the movie, even though you didn't really like the third act either?
No.
I thought you like just did.
Nope.
I thought he did too.
I'm pretty sure Mom said that she liked the third act more than the rest of the movie.
I know Mom did, but I'm pretty sure like a while ago when you brought up the whole like camera shot when she was making the torch, you were
Yeah.
like basically like that's the reason that the third act is like the best part for me, and I didn't even like it. Even though you didn't
Well, I
say
mean,
it in
yeah,
that
that would be
words,
the
those
that would
words.
I mean that would be true. That would be the reason why the third act is the best part of the movie for me, is just because of that one camera angle that was actually really cool.
Hmm.
Because the rest of the movie had shite camera angles.
I don't think it had shit camera angles. It just had
I
average
do.
camera angles. Well, I would agree that it had average camera angles. Like it just didn't do anything like particularly like crazy eye opening. Whoa, that was such a cool shot. But like it didn't have such bad shots. Well, besides when a struggle happened, it didn't have such bad shots that you were like, oh god, oh this is so bad, cringe, dude. Oh god, I'm gonna freaking
I
die, dude.
cringed.
Bruh.
I did.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
Alright, let's not devolve the podcast into moaning.
It's already there, baby.
No, it's not, because I just saved it. I just pulled it back out from the moaning pile.
Moaning pile?
Yeah, the moaning pile. It's where
Oh,
all the horny boys and horny girls go.
It's moaning milk.
Ooh, yeah, it
Moaning
is.
milk. And you just sit there and hear YouTube videos go, mmm, mmm.
I drink milk, but it's like drinking milk ASMR, and then I moan ASMR. So it's like,
Yep.
mm, mm. I'm doing it with my water, but it's close enough to milk.
Is it?
That's a whole other
Because
podcast.
that broke my
Yeah, it
my
is.
immersion.
Oh well, sorry, but your immersion. Well, I mean, you were probably out of the immersion by now because I was already done when I explained it was water. So
Yeah, but I knew
I didn't
it was
really
water, and
break
it
your
broke my immersion.
What?
I knew it was water the whole time. It broke my immersion.
Oh, you don't think you can make those noises with milk?
No, you can't. Water and milk are
okay.
completely different substances, bruh.
Yeah, but they're also both liquids. So
Nope,
like you
you can't do
probably
it.
could get the
Nope,
you
you can't do it.
No, yeah, you probably could get the
No.
same sound. Yes.
You can't.
Yes, you could.
You can't.
You could. And you've heard it here today on this podcast, folks, ladies and gentlemen.
They're
You
probably
can make
like,
the same
they're
sounds with
probably
milk
like, I
as you
thought this
can
was
with
about a
water.
movie, not milk.
Here on the podcast about that is a review of Descent 1 and 2. You heard it here first that slurping milk can sound just like the same as slurping water.
Okay.
Well, it's something that people need to know. It needs to get out there. But back to the movie. I don't know. I think we're just gonna move on to our ratings of 1. So, I would rate 1 a 6. And it only gets 1 point more because of the fact that, like I said, I think it literally everything is actually like 10 times better in the third act. But that doesn't excuse Act 1 and 2 being pretty average or even bad.
I would give it a 6.5.
Ay, ay, ay. I am
Is it that hard to rate it?
Dreamcast guy, and I am
Whoa,
giving
cringe.
The Descent a
I don't even know what you're talking about.
4 out of 10.
Dreamy boy?
Dreamcast.
Boy with dreamy eyes? He got dreamy eyes, though. That makes his opinion valid. Because he got dreamy eyes.
But I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Damn! I can't wait to see your fucking rating for the sequel.
Watch, it's a 10 out of 10.
And what was your rating for the lighthouse again?
I think it was 3 out of 10.
I thought it was a 5.
No.
I thought we gave it like really, really low
Yeah,
scores.
we did.
Probably partially as a meme.
We
thought it was really bad.
Like when I first watched it, I think I gave it like a 1 or a 2. But then over time, I was like,
you probably gave it a 1 because I'm pretty sure I gave it a 2.
And then I was like, it's slightly better than that. So then I bumped it up to like a 3.
Okay.
I mean, I can see why people enjoy The Lighthouse, but I'm still keeping it at 2 because I did not at all. I ain't moving my score up because
unlike you, I cannot see why anyone enjoys it. So
I can too.
Keep
I
in
can
mind
see
that
why people enjoy it.
0.5.
Damn! Why don't you just give it a 0?
Yeah. Mom be like, it has to be a number at least. It can't be a 0.
Oh, I figured Mom was gonna be like, well, I give it a 0.5 because there was like one single part in the movie that I liked.
No, there was not.
Oh.
What do you mean? That shot when he was looking down at him and he had like the lights coming out of his eyes, that was actually
And
really
he was
cool.
a naked ass boy.
I thought it was
We could
stupid.
see the burgers.
We could see his buns, Mom.
We could see the burger
don't
meat
care.
that your boy Willem has.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe and his sexy buns.
Don't
And
care.
Boygas.
You're telling me you didn't get turned on by Willem Dafoe's butt?
No, I didn't.
Dude, I was like, how much meat you got on you? Damn! I kind of want to touch that! I ain't even gay and I want to touch that, bro!
Okay.
Sound kind of gay though.
Hold on, I'm not gay. I
Nick,
just want to touch Willem Dafoe's ass.
the camera zooms up past Willem Dafoe's ass, and you think it's a girl, and you go, "She kind of bad though."
Yeah, yeah. And then it shows Willem Dafoe with
Willem
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe. It's like fucking SoFlo Antonio, but and Willem Dafoe had a baby. Both of them had a baby, and they named him Willem Dafoe.
That's awesome. Anyway.
Yeah, it just shows Willem Dafoe's booty, and then it pans up to his face with lights out of his eyes.
For me, The Descent is better than The Lighthouse, only by 1 point.
Okay. Alright, so I guess we'll just move on to the sequel then, like right now. Freaking stat, dude. So, how did it, oh yeah, I remember how it started. Brainlit. So, the movie starts, like, already, like, completely confusing, and you're like, what?
Because at the end of the first movie, they end the movie with her in a car. She just pulled off the side of the road to freak out because she got away.
Yeah.
And then in the start of the second movie, they show her running to another car and slamming her hands against someone's window. And it's like,
Yeah.
what? How did she get out of the car she was in
Or
just then?
better yet,
Run across the
Why
get out
did
of the
she?
car?
Yeah, because you can imagine that she got out of the car. It's just you would more likely ask, why did she get out of
I
her
bet
car?
you anything the movie probably wants you to think she got scared by Juno's ghost so badly she got out of the car.
Okay, well they should
Oh, yeah.
have shown that then.
Oh yeah, the main character saw Juno's ghost because she
At the
left
very
Juno to
end.
die at the end of the first movie. And at the very, very end of the first movie, when she was driving away, she saw Juno's ghost in the car with her. And then the next movie started with her running up to a trucker, slamming her hands against his window, jump scaring him, being like, "Oh, a blubbery mess," and him being like, "Bruh, moment."
That's what he said.
Yeah,
As
I
we
mean, I
said,
heard it.
This movie needs better writing.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I was like, what are the writers thinking? They're like 50 years ahead. Because, nowadays everyone's saying bruh moment. But at the same time, you don't want to write bro moment into your script. That just doesn't work.
But
It doesn't work like that.
yeah, so the Juno ghost at the end of the last one, I guess, was an excuse to have her get out of the car, and that's it. Which makes the Juno ghost kind of stupid and pointless because it makes you think, okay,
well, that's what they went with for the sequel. Is that I guess that's what they're going with is the Juno ghost spooked her out of the car.
Yeah, here's what I don't like about the sequel is the fact that it feels like they purposefully tried to do anything to make a sequel make sense. Because they literally have her escape. So she lives through this like Goblin Town cannibal cave thing in the first movie, and she deserts her friend. She cuts her in the leg at the end, Juno, and she's like, "You're a bitch, ha ha ha," and runs away, right? And then
I
when
wish
she
said that.
when she fucking runs away after cutting her, you're like, "Oh well, Juno's dead, cool." So then Sarah runs away. She lives, and then she hops in a car and drives for a while until she's like on the actual road and then pulls over. I don't remember why, but she does pull over, and then Juno's ghost is just like in the passenger seat, like, "What's up?" And then the movie ends. So then, like, after you finish the first movie, if you don't know there's a sequel, or like you finish it and there wasn't a sequel yet, it leads you to believe Juno died and now her ghost is haunting her. And I'm like, that's a decently interesting ending.
Yeah.
But then they try to make any excuse
And it
to
makes
make
sense.
a sequel. So now Juno's ghost wasn't even Juno's ghost. I guess it was just in her head. So
or
I'm
it was her
"Wait,
ghost,
what?"
but she doesn't show up ever again. She
I
just
think
doesn't
it
even
was
give a
supposed
fuck.
to be
Oh wait, no.
insinuating. No, it's supposed to be insinuating the guilt that she feels
Yeah.
for leaving her friend
Yeah, but
behind.
but
I
I'm
was
pretty
about to
sure
say
that
it
was
was.
their
Wait,
way
maybe
of,
it was, and then I was like, oh wait, yeah, I forgot Juno did live. Go ahead, Rob.
yeah, no, I think that it went from, I feel like the original script, they were like, and now Juno's ghost haunts her for life. And then then later on, they went, oh, dude, we need a sequel. So how about that ghost is actually her guilt for leaving Juno behind?
Yeah,
Basically, they kind of retconned that it was a ghost.
yeah,
That's what I believe happened,
yeah,
which I don't like.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I felt
Along with
like
a lot of the other stupid shit they do in the sequel.
oh, they do. Yeah, they there are countless things they do in the sequel that are stupid. uh, just not to mention just in general, they have like convenient plot convenience or contrivance or whatever you call it. I think it's plot contrivances. Like the fact that like she has all of this stuff happen and then she's put into the hospital where she's quote unquote hysterical, so then the fucking doctor sedates her and she gets amnesia. So
And
then
they're
they have an
like,
excuse for her to go into the cave without being like, no, I don't want to go in the cave. There's mutant cannibals in there that will eat us.
yeah, so that way she can't like also warn the other people that there's mutant cannibals and shit.
Yeah.
So instead they willingly go too, and then the cop, even this is even more dumb. The cop who should be looking after the safety of the citizens decides that this woman who survived and is the only survivor should totally go right back in.
Yeah, and
Right
it's
when
like
she's in the
even
hospital and she hasn't even healed yet. Like
She's
fully healed.
injured. She's injured. She's suffering from nervous breakdowns and PTSD. She has amnesia, and the sheriff says, "Let's take her back into the cave."
yeah, you know what the
In the
best
cave.
thing is to do? Take her back into the cave where she experienced
Right
something
now!
traumatic. right now, yeah.
now!
While
Get her
she's
out
still
of the fucking
recovering.
hospital bed. Get her dressed. Let's haul her on down there.
She needs 2 more hours of that IV drip. Fuck out of here. Take that IV drip out. We're going to the caves.
If he could yank
Basically.
that IV drip out himself, he would have.
Yeah, probably. Which is kind of funny because it's also kind of like it's kind of similar to how he is throughout most of the movie. For some reason, he just kind of has a hate boner for the main girl character.
He totally hates her, and he continually puts her in danger.
Yeah, and like for no reason, basically,
Like when he
and himself.
handcuffed himself to her. That instantly put her in danger.
And him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then he put himself in danger though, because then they crossed the one thing. There was like a bridge that was very rocky, but it's like a bridge of rocks. They were all crossing one at a time, so it wouldn't fall. And then but like he was very like suspicious of her and was like, "Oh, your killer, Stinky. Oh, handcuff you to me. We're handcuffed." And then she was like, "Take the handcuffs off so we can go one at a time, so that we don't fucking die." And then he was like, "Are you kidding me? I will not let you get away. We're gonna die together."
He literally said,
She had
"Get
a
away from Juno once. You're not getting away from me." And then I was
Yeah.
like, "You realize if she goes to the other side, for one, you could go before her, so then you watch her come across. For two, if she did go first, there's 2 girls on the other side."
And for thirdly, Juno was on the other side, because as we've already established, Juno did live. And this is a point where they've regrouped with Juno. So if they had any struggle with the main character, Sarah, Juno could easily probably whoop her ass.
I don't know about that, but they're definitely
Well, maybe not easily, but
It would
she
be a
wasn't going to
struggle.
be escaping easily. That's for sure. And she wasn't going to run the other way if he went. Because
Yeah, that's
they
what
were
I'm
going
saying.
across there to get away from a fucking group of monstery things. cave
Mutant
thingies.
mutant cannibals. Basically.
So yeah.
So yeah, there's like 50 bazillion reasons why he should have just unlocked it. But then guess what? They go across. It breaks while he's still on it. Then she's trying to pull him back up. Then they decide it's too late, cut his hand off, and then he goes and gets eaten by the mutant cannibals because he's
I
an idiot.
mean, yeah, they were crawling all over him as he hung there,
Yeah,
practically ripping her hand off by the freaking handcuff.
yeah. So this is like, hey, I mean, at least this horror movie, like, hey, he completely that his death was actually completely his fault.
It was actually completely refreshing, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah,
Lol.
It was like the one death that I was like, yeah, you deserved it. It is what it is.
yeah, yeah. Because he literally was the only reason why. Like, he is the reason that he was in that mess.
Also, what I don't get is it kind of seems like the movie portrays the cop as if he cares about the other girls that he believes Sarah has killed, so that's why he's mean to her. But then when he already has seen the cannibals more than
creatures.
once, he still decides she's doing this. It's her fault.
Yeah, and
And
it's
I
like,
don't know.
Okay, so
okay.
he's actually brain dead.
Yeah,
It makes no sense. It
you,
makes
you're like,
It's like they got lost and didn't know where else to go with the story. I don't know.
yeah, it's like you were like, are you telling me this man is not a vegetable? You telling me this man has not had some kind of lobotomy or some shit?
Yeah, boy.
Because there certainly is no brain in there. Let me tell you, there's no brain.
Absolutely no brain. So yeah, the cop is probably the worst character.
Yeah,
Absolute
definitely.
worst in both
Worst.
movies.
Yeah,
He's not even in the first, but if you were to count the characters in the first as well, he's still the worst.
Yep.
yeah.
Just because like there's no logic behind his character, like nothing makes sense with him.
Yeah. And also one thing that I will
He
say
also
that
fucking shoots a gun in a cave, and you're like, what?
Which is stupid.
yeah, when you're sitting there thinking he can't get much more brain dead, and then you're like, ah, yes.
He like puts the whole freaking
You went,
he puts the whole search group at risk when he does that.
yeah, which I don't know.
He
They
actually
portray it
almost
as
gets
if
one of
he
his.
cares about these dead girls because he thinks Sarah killed them, so he's eyeballing her, right? And then he also seems like, oh, maybe he also cares about these people, but he shoots in the cave, and he also sees cannibals, and then still has a hate boner for her anyway. And I'm like, nothing about his character makes sense. Like, this is not a real human being.
Yeah, and one of the crewmates actually legit does get trapped in the cave-in that he caused by shooting the gun.
And most of the others get hurt by the cave in.
Yeah.
And they all get separated by the cave in,
Yeah, exactly.
which I'm sure causes more of their demise.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's like, thank the cop. Thank the cop for most of this devastation.
Thank the idiot chief.
It's
I like how even the other cop that was there that was like kind of like the second hand to the chief or whatever, the black lady that ended up being like one of the main characters.
yeah.
She was like actually like very reasonable compared to him. Like
Yeah.
she like completely trusted Sarah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she saw cannibals and she went, ah, cannibals did it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ah, classic cannibals.
Saw what a total dunce the sheriff was, and she was the one that hacked his arm off to
Yeah.
save Sarah.
Yeah.
Lol. Sounds like she actually cares about people, unlike the sheriff.
Yeah. So yeah, the plus most of the other characters to me were pretty forgettable in the sequel. Like I don't like even really care about like any of them, and I don't even really remember like who. Like I remember their faces because we just watched the movie, but like over time I will forget like literally everything about them. Like because they basically had no personality. Like they were just kind of there, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'd agree.
Mom, would you?
Maybe I don't.
I mean, I was really just watching for Sarah and Juno because those were the only people that I was like, these people are somewhat interesting. Like I'm kind of like I was actually interested at least enough to see where their story would go.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't
mean-
love them as characters, but they were the ones that made me actually feel like I wanted to see where it was going.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't like love the like I didn't even like really like the main character, the cop that was a black woman. Like cuz I don't know, I feel like she also didn't really get much personality. Like she had some personality obviously cuz she was one of the main characters, so they kind of had to give her some personality. But still like it still kind of felt like she wasn't as interesting as the sheriff dickhead. Because at least I remember him because he
Well-
was a dickhead.
Well, they instantly made you hate him. And if you've got someone in a movie that you love to hate, then you're going to be more interested in them automatically.
I wouldn't necessarily agree. I think that
Okay.
you'll definitely remember someone that you like absolutely hate, but I feel like if the people that are making the movie are good enough at writing, they can make you love someone just as much as you hate someone else in the movie.
I didn't even really hate the sheriff. I just ended up saying that this is terrible writing with this character. So the character was just fun to watch because I was like, it's just the character was so badly written.
No, yeah, I completely agree.
So that's what made the sheriff actually kind of enjoyable because I was like, what's going to be the next dumb thing he's going to do?
Yeah.
He won't let them go across one at a time and then he'll die. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Like
And
that
see, I
stuff
will at
was
least give
entertaining because it was so badly written.
Yeah. And I'll at least give the woman cop main main character. I'll at least give her that is that she at least felt more real than the sheriff. Like the sheriff legit did not feel like a person. They felt like he literally felt
Yeah.
like a character in a movie.
Like he literally felt like he was written for a purpose, and if he wasn't serving that purpose, then he just wasn't needed.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, like the woman cop wasn't even like I didn't even realize that she was going to be a main character until she was one of the final people left. Which I feel like almost I would say actually gives them some brownie points because usually there's not like a kind of a bit of a guessing
Well, she
game as
died
to who's
too.
going to survive last. What?
She died too.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like the last people were Juno, Sarah, and her by the end.
Yeah.
And the last person to like that to be alive was her.
She didn't die by the creatures.
Yeah, she did.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, because she woke up, remember? And then the creature jumped out the hole and grabbed her.
Yeah, but if it weren't for the guy that knocked her in the head, she would have never died.
Yeah.
So ultimately,
And it
was
didn't
his
jump
fault.
out of the hole. He left her like in the hole, basically, half in, half out.
Yeah, and then the creature
And the
was like,
monster said, "Gimme." Yeah, the
it
monster
said,
went, "Gimme."
gimme.
It went, "Milky, milky." So yeah, that's what I'm saying though, is that like at least with the woman cop, like I didn't actually think that she was gonna be one of the final people alive. So I at least got to give the writers that, as that was kind of an interesting direction that I wasn't expecting. I especially wasn't expecting her to be the literal last person alive.
I kind of figured Sarah was going to save her because she had
Well,
a
nearing
daughter.
the end. Go ahead.
She had a daughter. She was a mom. Sarah lost hers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I kinda
nearing
saw
the
that
end, I
coming, like,
kind of saw it coming, but
well,
I'm
I saw
saying,
it
like,
coming the minute she was like recording that thing for her daughter. I was like, I already see where this is going.
Yeah, I did too.
I will. Oh yeah, that was one of the. I would say actually was a highlight scene. Like there wasn't anything spooky going on or anything. Nothing happened after it either. It was just straight up like this character. If they were like a real person, what would they do in this scenario? They would record their final goodbyes to their dad, to their daughter,
To their dad.
to their daughter.
You said to their dad, daughter. No, but
No, I
yeah.
said to their
Nick,
daughter.
shush, 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 shush. I'm fucking with
How
you,
about you,
brah.
shush?
I am fucking with you, brah.
Not very good.
So anyway, I
So yeah,
think
I think that was one of the highlight scenes in the movie because I was like, oh, this is
I thought it
I
was
wasn't really
good and
expecting
it
that
was
scene.
done pretty well. But I also, again, wasn't like super in love with it. Something about these movies, just like the way things were done, I just wasn't really in love with any of it.
Well, I think the main reason you weren't in love with that scene, and neither was I, is because we weren't in love with the movie as a whole.
Yeah, the movie as a whole sucked.
If that scene was in a better horror movie, that scene would have been like amazing. But it was in this movie, so it kind of drags down that scene because it's in a movie that, for the most part, for the rest of it, isn't near as good as that scene.
Yeah.
Basically, it just seems like the people that made this movie, the writers or directors or whatever, they have the talent and they have the potential. They just didn't reach it with this movie, with either of these movies. And I feel like they could if they just try harder.
Just try harder.
Yeah, especially with the sequel.
And
I
write
think
better.
the first movie, especially with the sequel though, with the first movie, I actually was like I could actually see this being something where someone really did try. Like the first movie felt like they really did actually try to make a good movie. Like, but the sequel definitely feels like it's phoned in.
Yeah, the sequel's a whole lot worse and more jumbled.
Yeah.
Too many places it just didn't make sense and didn't fit in.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why I at least like the first movie is because of the fact that obviously there are actually some things that I think are good. But just in general, I felt like throughout the movie I was like I kind of feel like these people really did try. It's just they didn't, they didn't achieve what they were going for. And hey, that's okay. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. But then the sequel was phoned in. I don't even know if the sequel is like written by the same person or directed by the same person.
It doesn't feel like it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say honestly.
As much as I don't love the writing in the first movie, it was nowhere near as bad as in the second.
Oh yeah, nowhere
Second
near.
was actually dog shit.
Yeah.
First
a
one
trash
I
fire.
just didn't like, but I could see other people liking it at least.
Yeah.
This one I honestly couldn't see other people liking.
The Descent Part 1 and 2 writer. Kind of curious
You're
now.
actually
I'm
looking
curious
it
to
up.
see. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if it
Yeah.
actually is the same person.
Same. You let us know.
Okay, so the writer for the sequel is James McCarthy, J. Blakeson, I think. Yeah. James McCarthy, J. Blakeson, James Watkins, Jesus. And Neil Marshall. Funny, Neil Marshall has a picture on here. He looks like the one guy, the one actor for Arthur Morgan. And it just reminds me of the meme.
It's the same people as 2.
It is?
Yep.
Oof.
Oh man, that is a big oof. That's a zoinks.
That's a zoinks.
Oh wait, is it? Are you sure?
I just looked.
I'm looking on IMDb.
What's
And
their names again? What's their names again? For one, James McCarthy, James Watkins, and Jay Blake.
Oh, you're looking at 2?
I'm looking at 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that I'm looking at 1 right now because
Yeah?
I just looked at 2 and it had those writers you're talking about.
I thought
the
those
first
were the ones you said did 1.
No, those were the ones I was looking at for 2. I just looked at 1 and the only writer on it is Neil Marshall.
Oh, Neil.
Yeah, so Neil Marshall is the one that made the first one.
Neil might have been the one that dragged the first one down a little bit too.
What? Neil is literally the only writer that was in the first. And then I don't think he even helped with the second because it shows him. Yeah, it shows him as writers. Like it says writing credits for the sequel, but it says under Neil Marshall, it just says characters uncredited. So I think it's just saying Neil Marshall because he created this like movie universe. And I think the 3 people above him are the ones that actually wrote it: James McCarthy, Jay Blakeson, and James Watkins.
Well, they are an oof. A collective oof.
A big old collective oof. That actually, that makes like complete sense though now. Now that I'm reading that, as far as it looks like, the writers are completely different for 1 and 2. In fact, I don't even think the writer from the first movie was involved with the second. Which, I'm like, hey, good for him. He said, I ain't dealing with this stupid ass sequel bullshit. I did my movie, I'm done.
Yeah, that makes me think that it was supposed to be 1 movie because of the ghost thing at the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind of feel like that was just studio.
Yeah,
being like, let's make a sequel.
different writer, and his ending was Juno's ghost being in the passenger.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so in his ending, it most likely was not her guilt about it. It was an actual ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then these other writers came along and went, what if that was her guilt?
Yeah.
How about that? Then we can do a sequel.
Which still is like really poopy doopy because it's like, I'm like, honestly, it would have been more interesting, and I thought they were going to take it in this direction, that the sequel was going to be about her, like, being haunted by Juno's ghost. And, like, figuring out, a way to not be haunted by Juno's ghost.
The only time a ghost guilt thing has been done right in recent memory was in Batman Arkham Knight. Where it's kind of like a ghost, but it's not really. It's actually the person's guilt.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything else that did something like that really well.
Yeah.
Throwing that out there.
Huh. This is kind of interesting looking at this guy's like career. It looks like he has some like, it looks like he has a mixture of like movies that might be closer to The Descent, where it's like not amazing, but it's not like bad either. And you can tell he at least tried. And then other stuff that looks like he probably actually like nailed the head on how good it was. Like it looks like he apparently was some part of Game of Thrones, but like old Game of Thrones, because it says 2012 to 2014, so like the older episodes.
So some of the good seasons.
Yeah, the good episodes. So I'm like,
Wet
but then
kissing.
he's also got like Hellboy 2019 here. So I'm like, it looks like he kind of just,
Oof.
it looks like he just tries and then sometimes he just flubs it. And that's, sometimes you're just gonna flub it.
Flub it.
Yeah, love it.
I hope I don't flub it this time. That's what he does when he goes into a new movie. I hope I don't flub it.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Is that's actually why I was looking at his writing stuff and director stuff because I was like, I'm kind of curious if like any of his things that he's worked on like signal that he actually does try, even if he doesn't always nail the head on the coffin or whatever the saying is.
Nail the head on the coffin.
Yeah, I don't know. I
pretty
messed up
fucking
the saying.
That's really morbid.
hit the nail on the head. That's what I meant to say.
Bruh. I wish I could hit
I mean, it do be it do be Halloween though.
The coffin.
It do be Halloween though.
Bruh.
It do be Hubie Halloween though.
Doobie doobie dooba doobie doobie dooba.
Nah, it do be Hubie Halloween though. Dude, we should do a mini tots on Hubie Halloween.
I've already said that we should watch it because it looks
Yeah,
bad.
I know.
We want to watch it because it looks bad.
Yeah, and then make like a mini tots on it because I don't think we'd have enough to say for like a entire podcast.
You
But
don't know.
I mean, what if it turns out to be like a fantastic, amazing 10 out of 10 comedy? It's literally on the levels of like his older stuff, like
It's on the levels of like
fucking. I don't know.
Yeah, that one.
I can't
Yeah, that
remember.
one.
I
That's
can't
my
remember
favorite.
any of Adam Sandler's older movie names right now. James Madison, I think that's one of them. I don't know.
That's the studio
Oh, got him.
that makes a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
Waterboy.
Oh, yeah. Waterboy, there you go. There's one.
You're like, yeah, that one's not that bad.
Well, I mean, I probably have some bias on that because it's one of the movies we watched as children.
As children.
But yeah, that's why I was kind of curious what he did before and after, because I was like, I wonder if like he actually did genuinely give it a try. I thought he did. That's kind of the vibe I got from the movie, even if he didn't like hit the nail on the head. I got it that time.
There we go.
I did it. I said the saying right. But yeah, I was just like, I wanted to confirm, and I'm like, seeing that he's worked on other stuff that is good, like Game of Thrones, but then he's also worked on stuff that I've heard is bad, like Hellboy 2019. I'm like, it definitely seems like he tries, even if he does
Hellboy
fail
2019
sometimes.
wasn't as bad as most people say it was, but it also wasn't good.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it.
I've seen it.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. I haven't heard that it's like spectacularly bad. I've just heard most people are like, it doesn't hold a candle to the original Hellboy
It
movie.
doesn't.
Yeah.
There's a part with these giants that looks kind of bad CGI wise, but it's actually pretty awesome.
Mhm.
Like what happens in the movie is pretty awesome, even though the CGI isn't like amazing.
Mhm.
But yeah, but the story is really, really bad and contrived and doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's just fun, dumb CGI scenes that I liked in it because I was like, oh, this is kind of entertaining. Like,
Yeah.
just to see like a battle between Hellboy and like a few giants and stuff like that, that's entertaining. But the actual story was bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to what
Back
we were
to
on to.
the movies. Yeah. So yeah, I think that adds a whole lot of it adds another layer of context and me personally understanding what happened with the movies. I think he tried for the first to make a good movie, and I think he made an above average movie, and I think it's admirable that he tried like his best. And then the sequel, it seems like other writers got a hold of it, or not even they got a hold of it. It's more like the studio probably was like, our first movie performed well, we need sequel now. And then they were like, all right, we got to hire writers because the old writer doesn't want to come back for the sequel.
Probably.
So basically, the sequel was phoned in, and there's a lot of evidence that it was phoned in. And I don't blame the writers for the sequel. Like, I don't blame them. I blame the studio. Like, because the writers of the sequel, they probably were just like, hey, I mean, we don't really have to try. The studio doesn't care of its quality. They just want a sequel.
Yeah, so they got a paycheck for not really trying.
Yeah, exactly.
Epic.
Yeah.
Although
like
their
I said,
paycheck could have
That I
possibly
blame the
been
studio
better,
for.
but their paycheck could have also been better if they actually put work in and tried to make it really good. Because then the movie would have like sold more and stuff, which would make their paychecks bigger. So it's also kind of on them.
But then it's like it's kind of hard to like pin it. See, that's what I'm saying. It's just kind of hard to pin it on a specific person, though. Like, well, obviously, the studio is mainly at fault. But like, then when you say stuff like, the writers could have tried, then you don't know if like how much studio interference there was, if they really did try and maybe they're just not, very great at writing, or maybe they weren't at a time. I don't know. I didn't look at their, writing credits and stuff. Maybe they actually made really good movies after.
They didn't.
Brr. That could have been the thing. Maybe it wasn't phoned in. Maybe they were just inexperienced writers, and they were like, "How the frick do we make a sequel for this movie?" Well, we don't know exactly where to go other than following the guidelines that were set up for the first movie. So we're gonna have them go back into the cave and kind of do similar things to the first movie. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened, because they had very similar scenes, like, in the sequel to the first movie. Like, the fact that they had a scene where there was a cave-in while everyone was in a somewhat small space.
Yeah,
although it was a lot bigger than usual.
Kind of reminds me of the Hangover sequels, where you're kind of like, they're kind of like, can we sell you the same movie twice?
Yeah, like it just kind of felt like step by step, like the exact same movie with just like very minimum, very small changes.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see, like, and that's the thing, I can also see it with the fact that I actually felt like it was, like, I felt the genuine seriousness in the first movie when, like, the main character, Sarah, had, like, the cold, dead stare and she was completely silent and, like, a complete badass. In this movie, it legit feels, like, so hammy and, like, so forced. Like when Sarah and Juno are both trying to be like silent badasses.
Yeah.
Even Sarah, who I actually thought did a really good job at portraying a silent badass in the first movie, and it felt normal, obviously, in the first movie because it was like it was like a progression from a scaredy cat wuss puss, because she had that one traumatic event happen, so she actually got scared even when no one else was, because she might have like a PTSD episode. But then, like, by the end of the movie, she was like a stone cold badass, and like nothing really scared her, or at least she didn't show the fear. I mean, I'm sure stuff scared her, but basically she conquered her fear by the end. Which is just another point for the first movie, is, hey, there was actually like a interesting like goal that was going throughout the movie, which is that the main character was trying to conquer her fear, and by the end she did. But this one is more about basically just tying up loose ends.
Hell yeah.
Because it's like, Juno's still alive, so we gotta go back to the cave and gamer end her. or at least that's the goal at first, and then it isn't the goal. That was another thing. It felt really weird that like she left Juno for dead in the first movie, and then like just randomly they're like total buddy pals in the sequel. Like obviously there's some tension between them, but like it's resolved almost immediately. Like they're just kind of like, it'd be better if we just fight together. I love you, buddy. It was an accident that I left you for dead. Sorry.
It was an accident. Oops. I stabbed you in the leg by accident. Can we still be friends?
But see, then I don't want to shit too hard on the writers for this movie, because then I'm like, I don't even know if it was just that they were inexperienced, like I said, and they just, they were just trying their best to make a sequel for this movie, and they didn't know which way to go, because it also had one scene that I thought stood out. Another scene, I mean, because obviously we already talked about the one scene where she recorded her message for her daughter. The officer did. That was a pretty good scene. What I thought was a great scene was when Sarah sacrificed herself for that officer at the end. I thought that was actually a fantastic scene. I thought it was really well done and really well shot and all that.
Me too.
And I just
I think that
I
it
don't
was
know.
well
I loved
done
it.
and well shot, but I didn't really like it just because it felt cliche. And
I mean, I
also
didn't think
saw it coming.
I didn't think it was cliche at all. Sarah
I mean,
really
I guess,
didn't feel like she had anything left anyway.
yeah, and I mean, I guess
she
you
didn't
could,
have a husband, she didn't have her best friend, and she didn't have her daughter. She
yeah.
had nothing.
And not particularly in that order.
Well, yeah, but that's the point. She didn't have anything though.
But yeah, like I guess you could file it under the like cliche of character sacrifices themselves for another, but like I feel like that's not a very good critique to just call it a cliche, because like
Well, it's my critique, so fucking deal with it.
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's not a good enough critique, because there are so many movies that do that cliche,
Yeah,
but they
other
do it
movies
well.
do it a lot
because
better than this movie did.
Okay, see, there you go. That's all I was saying.
That's
is
why
that
I called it a
didn't think that was-
cliche, because at least when it's a cliche in other things, it's done like better. In general.
Mhm.
So maybe it's still cliche, but at least maybe I didn't see it coming in other movies. And this one I saw it coming, which made it feel even more cliche.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Personally, it didn't feel cliche because of the fact that I thought it was shot well, it was done well, or it was shot well, done well, acted well, and it was written well. Like it hit all the marks personally for me. And that's when I get like really confused, because I'm like, then it really makes me be like, I can't tell if these people are trying to make a good movie or if they phoned it in. Like, because then they have actually good scenes. I don't know, because like the more I think about it, they had that scene and they had the one scene with her recording a message for her daughter. It makes me think, if like, did they try but it just didn't work out because, maybe they were inexperienced, like I've already said.
And you'd have to research if they were experienced or not.
Yeah, I know, that's actually what now I'm making myself curious about the other writers. We about to research the entire writing team for The Descent.
It'd be
1 and 2.
hilarious. It would be hilarious if they were experienced and they've done like 10 out of 10 movies. I would literally be like, so it's even worse.
I click on one of the writers and it says they wrote The Shining.
Well, then that wouldn't necessarily be a good example, just because that's as long as you know the story of a book, it's not too hard to write that same story into a movie.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I would disagree with that.
Wait, what? I was looking at my phone. What did Rob say? Well, I was looking at my phone because I'm researching the writers.
Repeat.
Oh yeah, what did it say, Rob?
I said if they had made The Shining, that wouldn't necessarily be a good example of like they are a good writer because they're writing a story that's already been made, but they're just writing it into a movie.
I
So,
disagree
and
with
I don't
that.
think that that's as hard as
I
writing your own movie from scratch.
I
I
disagree.
100% agree with that. Just like Mom. I mean,
Disagree. You
yeah.
mean?
I
I
totally
said I
disagree.
highly disagree with it. I didn't say I agree with
So
it. I
you
said I
think that
highly
it's
disagree with it.
equally
Oh,
as hard to write your own movie story and everything from scratch as it is to write a movie script based on a book that already exists.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
do.
Rob, the
I think
perfect
I
example
think
is
they
a
both.
wait.
No,
Perfect,
wait. They
bruh.
both take lots of skill. I'm not denying that. I'm
Yeah,
denying the fact that it's harder to make your own story than it is to write someone else's story into a movie. That's what I'm arguing.
I
Making
mean,
your own story is harder. Both of them take skills, but writing your own story is harder, though.
writing your own story would be harder, but I don't know. Because, like, if you're adapting a book into a movie or TV show, then, like, I feel like it's actually is probably just about as hard, because you have to figure out what are you going to keep from the book, what are you going to cut, are you going to
Yeah, so
change stuff.
read the book.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Like,
So
Game of Thrones is the perfect example, in my opinion, of it's not as hard, or it's not as easy as it like may sound to, bring a book to
yeah, but
life
that's also a book
into television or
to
movie.
television. I'm talking book to movie.
Okay.
See, you could just read the book and like with a highlight marker, like highlight the things that you think are super important in order to like find out which parts of the book you feel like should be in the movie.
It's really not that easy though, especially since a
Yeah.
I'm
lot of
not saying
times,
it's easy in
especially
general. Oh my god.
especially since a lot of book adaptations end up usually like, or at least not usually, but maybe like quite a lot of the time, it seems like to me,
Flop.
they well, yeah, sure, but also like they seem to change the story quite a bit from the book, even if it's still pretty similar to the book, or they have to like or they might have to literally invent their own story in the world that is already created, or they might have to like mash together a bunch of different stories from like different books that are in the same universe.
I'm talking a 1-to-1 adaptation, so they're trying to be super faithful and not add things. The only thing that they can do is take away some things because obviously it's a movie, so they can't have everything in the book in the movie.
But I doubt The Shining is anywhere near 1-to-1.
Hmm.
Yeah, but they
Like,
didn't
I'm sure there are a lot
they
of
didn't
things that
add new
he's
things
changed and
though.
added. I'm sure that Stanley Kubrick probably did change and add some things to make it a better movie rather than just, I
Oh
need to be
yeah.
as faithful
Oh
as I
yeah.
can to the book.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, everyone at Tots fans, don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
He doesn't. He's a stupid, dumb diaper baby brain.
Anyway, the whole point was I wasn't even arguing that it's easy to write either one, your own story or like your own story for a movie, or you're writing a story that's already been written, but you're writing it for a movie. You're adapting it. I'm not saying
Mhm.
either one of those are easy. I'm just saying making your own story, I think, would be harder.
Mhm.
More difficult.
Okay, so from
So
research, I think that I don't know. I can't tell. I think maybe they were. At least one of them was probably inexperienced because I was looking at James Watkins.
And he's a poopy diaper, stinky baby, diaper baby.
No, he's had his hand in some things that were apparently good, and one thing that I know for sure is good, which is that he had his he made The Woman in Black, and I thought that was a really good horror movie. So I think that's kind of interesting. So it makes me wonder if it makes me think that maybe he was inexperienced at the time, and now he's learned from it. Because, like I said, I think The Woman in Black is a very good horror movie. It is far superior, in my opinion, to The Descent too. I mean, you guys do remember The Woman in Black, yeah?
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I was just making sure.
I didn't like
Well-
that one either, so.
Well, I'm sure you can at least agree that it's 10 million times better than The Descent too, though.
Not 10 million, but it's better in general.
Okay, well then it's a lot better.
Not by
How
a
about
lot,
that?
though.
Oh, okay. Dang, Rob is harsh.
Yeah, because
Woo!
horror movies I actually love if they're really, really, really good, but most of the time they're not good for me.
Yeah, but like,
So I'm like
even if you
really,
don't,
I'm harder on horror movies than I am on like normal movies, like any old movie.
no, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't see how you can't see that there's like a huge gap between The Descent 2 and The Woman in Black.
Because I'm really hard on horror movies.
Okay.
I think you're a little bit more lenient on them than I am.
I don't think it's me being lenient though. The Descent 2 is like a freaking
Like a dumpster fire.
It is literally, yeah, it's literally like a dumpster fire. The
Yeah.
Woman in Black
Is like is
really good horror movie that you may not like. The Descent 2 is straight up just a dumpster fire.
All right. All right.
I mean, obviously someone may like it. I mean, and if they did say they liked it, I'd be like, let me show you some good horror movies.
Ooh.
Got him. No, I'm
So
joking.
you'd be a
but
fucking dick to them.
no, I'm joking. But still, I feel like there's no way you can't see that there's a big gap between The Descent 2 and The Woman in Black, even if you still didn't like The Woman in Black. I'll take that as a
So-
yes.
What was your rating?
Oh, I haven't given my rating yet. I was also gonna say that apparently he made a movie called Eden Lake, which I haven't seen, but it looks like he got like a bunch of nominations and possibly even an award win for that movie. So I guess it's apparently it sounds like it's apparently a pretty, at least decent movie. Have you seen Eden Lake, Mom?
I don't know if I have or not. Depends how old it was.
2008.
I'd have to look at it. I don't.
Okay. Well, anyways. Yeah. And then I don't know what this other stuff. Oh, and he had a hand in Black Mirror. I don't know which episode though, because I've heard that with Black Mirror, since it's a series with a different story every episode, sometimes there's a stinker episode. So I don't know whether he actually made one of the stinker episodes or not. And then I keep seeing this McMafia. I mean, I don't know if it's good or not. I mean, it has a 7.7 on IMDb, so I guess it's decent, but I don't know. Just the name sounds really funny to me personally. McMafia. It's McDonald's for mafia men. But anyways, I would rate The Descent 2. I'd give it a 2. I think it's on the level of The Lighthouse.
Damn.
The White
I think
House, like the actual real White House.
The
White House?
House.
You mean the
Oh.
place that the president lives?
I was gonna say I'd choose too high for that.
Wait,
You mean the president's house?
Two would be too high for that.
Yeah, I think it's on the level of the lighthouse.
I think if I had to choose between two to watch one again, it would be The Descendant.
Oh, I'd pick the lighthouse.
Two. I absolutely would not. Not unless I wanted a nap.
Because I give them both a 2 for enjoyment, but just purely from like a writing and filmmaking level, I can at least see that the lighthouse like is good in terms of like filmmaking and stuff.
I see none of it.
Damn.
I just didn't enjoy
Dumpster
the
trash.
movie.
Complete dumpster fire. Is
Fire.
Damn!
Mom sounded
I'm
like
spitting
the
out
one,
them spicy hot takes.
Mom sounded like the one guy from
So if the lighthouse is a 2,
Cat in the
I
Hat.
would give this one a 4.
Okay. Rob?
So if the lighthouse is a 3, I would give this one a 1.
For a moment.
Yeep.
Yeah, and the main reason I give it 2 is because
My
of those
name.
2 scenes that I thought were highlights.
My name is Dreamcast Guy, and I'm giving
This
The
again?
Descent 2 a 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10 dreamy eyes.
That's actually how he gives his ratings. He goes 1 out of 10.
So it's like he's like a Count Dracula or what do they call him? The one serial guy that's like 1.
Count Chocula?
Yeah, I don't think that even is Count Chocula though. I think that's like a Dracula dude in a puppet show.
What?
Like I'm pretty sure that's Dracula puppet in a puppet show, in a kid's puppet show. I don't think that's Count Chocula, even though I thought of the cereal mascot.
Count Dracula.
What?
Yeah,
Dracula?
You mean the purple...
Count Dracula.
Nick, you mean the purple vampire from the kids show that is teaching kids how to count. And he's like, a 1, a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that Count Dracula?
I don't. Maybe it is. I mean, that would make sense. He's counting.
I'm pretty sure that's the whole joke.
He do be counting.
he do be counting though.
But yeah, it sounds like Dreamcast Guy sounds like that.
No.
1 out of 10.
Nah, that has way too much emotion behind it. He's more like, and I'm giving Mario Galaxy a 9 out of 10.
Damn, that's
Yeah, it's like no
a pretty
emotion.
low score. Like, dude,
For
you're not
Mario
gonna give
Galaxy?
Odyssey. Oh, I thought you said Odyssey.
I said Galaxy.
Oh. I was gonna say, if you're gonna give Mario Odyssey a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10, you're just cringe. You just
Well,
don't
actually,
understand
I
epic
think-
gaming.
I think Mario Galaxy is better than Odyssey, so
Oh, wait, did you say you like Odyssey more than Galaxy? Is that what you said?
I like Galaxy more than Odyssey.
Okay, I
You
thought
just
that's
keep
what you
hearing
said.
what you want to hear.
I am delusional.
You are.
But do you think Galaxy 2 is better than Galaxy 1?
Yeah,
Thank God.
2 is better
We
than
can
1.
at least agree at one point, which is that Galaxy 2 is better than Galaxy 1.
And I actually don't like Mario 64 like too much. Like a lot of people think it's the best Mario ever, and I'm like, it's actually one of my least favorites.
Hmm.
I still like it a lot. It's just one of my least favorites, and that always is like controversial for everyone.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say either. I'd say probably Galaxy is my least favorite. Galaxy 1. I'd
Bruh.
probably say Galaxy 1 is my least favorite, followed by 64, then Sunshine, then Galaxy 2, then
Oh my god,
Odyssey.
this is now a Mario list. What the fuck?
I figured, hey, fuck it, might as well do a rating while we're talking about like how good we think the Mario games are.
We could
Oh,
always
well,
just
I'd be
do it.
signing off then.
Don't sign off yet, because then it'll mess up the recording.
Did she?
Okay. No.
Ah!
Because then her box would go away, and then I'd have to like edit in like an edit for the boxes so that they don't look all screwy. And that would be annoying. Alright. That was our Tots on The Descent Part 1 and Part 2. Do you guys have any finishing thoughts?
They sucked. The end.
Mom, do you have any finishing thoughts?
No, I've already kind of said everything that there is to say about them.
Okay.
For what I think.
My finishing thoughts would probably just be that it seems like, at least for the first one, the writer and like the people making the movie tried, even if they did not succeed. But hey, that just happens. It's a lesson for your life, society.
Wow.
Alright, if you enjoy hearing our thoughts, smash that sub button.
If you liked it, like it. If you hate us, hate us.
Is this where I say leave your thoughts on Todd?
Yeah.
Leave your thoughts on. Well, last time I said it, I got yelled at. Leave your thoughts on Tots below.
Mom, you're not supposed to say it yet! Ah! You ruined it.
I give up.
I didn't think I ruined it because it was funny how he sounded like fucking
No,
Muscle
Mom
Man
ruined
from
it.
regular
She wasn't
show.
supposed to say it yet.
Oh,
Yeah, she ruined it.
yeah, she was
Yeah,
gonna. She
whatever.
was supposed to wait for like 10 whole minutes of silence.
It's okay. She said she gives up, so.
I give up.
And remember, kids, when life smacks you in the face, give up.